Hello my dear citizens, Manohar again and welcome to Satya Anveshi. This time we are going to unpack another asinine video from String channel. This particular video is a detour from my regular pseudoscience debunking domain, but this is a good case study for flawed thinking and blatant dishonesty by the morons of String. Please check the Telugu version of this video too, link is in the description. So these two String videos have an agenda. Blaming a foreigner for the caste system in order to promote Manusmriti, the most vulgar book born out of our culture, and to discredit Ambedkar and sow confusion among the Ambedkar supporters. Okay, Dr. Ambedkar has to wait till my next episode. Sorry doctor, but this video is about the claims about caste system made by the String channel. Vinod, the incompetent version of the actor Dhanush, features in this video with another dimwit who talks from the background, imitating and mocking someone who sounds like an imposter of a Ambedkar supporter.
The same system, bro. It only favors the Brahmins. It is anti-Dalit. Jai Bhim.
See, I told you, pathetic and a lame attempt at even being an imposter. I think the idiot in the background is this Jahid Hussain, the juggy head we see in other String videos, but viewers will let me know if I'm mistaken. To the question, who started caste system? This Nirod instantly blames it on a foreigner, like immediately, and then quickly jumps on to defending Manusmriti and jumps to mocking his political opponents and continue his blatant lies. I mean, this blaming foreigner for our shortcomings is not new. It's being done from centuries, and this incompetent Nirod just used it as a segue to this defense of the abominable Manusmriti. Anyway, you see, I could give the simple answer that no, caste system was fully local to our region and no foreigner brought it here. This Vinod is just bullshitting you. The discrimination ingrained in the Sanatana Dharma. I could say all that. But what good does it do? See, one guy on YouTube says foreigners brought the concept, and another guy on YouTube, me, say that no, it was from Vedas and Sanatana Dharma always had caste discrimination. I could show you 12.5 discrimination instances from the Puranas and the epics, but you couldn't care less because you will say, oh, translators are bought by British. They have manipulated it, and then dodge any responsibility. Now that's how brainwashed you are. Now it's a he said situation. Neither of us can take you back to the past and show you what exactly happened back then. So I won't be telling you what happened. I'm going to take you through some arguments where you should decide for yourself. I'm not going to do the thinking for you. You need to do the thinking. Now these arguments will blow your mind. If you are of a thinking kind, these will make you think. You'll find the truth in it. Now let us start. Vinod says that Sanatana Dharma had a Varna system, which is just a classification based on job and activities you do and knowledge you attain through sadhana. And then he says Portuguese brought the caste system. Casta in Portuguese is a word for social caste. In fact, Spanish also had the same word for caste. Then he says British have used that same system because it allowed them to divide and rule. Finally, he concludes, thus we have the caste system. This seems pretty compelling, isn't it? When you search for the word casta in Portuguese, it does mean caste. Sounds pretty straightforward, isn't it? See, the problem is, ignorant sheep stop thinking right there. They're happy that the evil of caste discrimination is blamed on a foreigner, so they can be absolved of their horrible past and their present actions. But rationalists think this through and see through the bullshit. The Portuguese casta of late Middle Ages is of a different context and for a different purpose. Let's destroy this idiot's theory of imported caste system. Let's see 5 arguments. Right? Argument number 1, pre-Portuguese era. Let's go back in time to when Portuguese have not yet arrived. Right? Let's imagine that. Now, in the model that the String Nirod yaps about, there is no caste system previously, right? So during this period, supposedly everyone is equal and have equal rights, correct? Varna was just a job description, everyone enjoys the same social status, right? Do you think everyone enjoyed equal status and respect and were treated the same way? If that is the case, all stories and epics, and even the fictional stories from the previous centuries, should show that equality. But almost every Purana, every story has at least one instance of the word Chandala, Panchamajati, and various other discriminatory depictions. There is a story in Ramayana too. See, Uttarakanda is supposed to be a later addition and is not part of the original canon of Valmiki Ramayana. Though Uttarakanda is a Prakshipta, it clearly shows how discrimination was rampant while it was being written. A guy called Shambhuka, who happens to be a Shudra in the Varna system, is killed by King Rama just because he is performing tapasya and trying to learn some mantras. Now, the Shambhuka story is a complete fabrication and fiction, as is the entire epic of Ramayana, but you see the discrimination there, right? The story writers were trying to just portray their mindset at that time. Remember, this is pre-Portuguese era. And this idiot Vinod said in his verbal diarrhea that Shudras can convert themselves to upper varnas by performing the appropriate sadhana and religious rites.
शूद्र ब्राह्मण हो जाता है और
Now, this guy Shambhuka was trying to do tapasya, which only the upper caste were allowed to do as per the story. But Rama kills him because the Shudra was not supposed to do the tapasya. Isn't this birth-based caste discrimination? Pick any story that was apparently written before 1500s and there are birth-based discrimination instances. You can't blame this on British or any other translators. These are written before 1500, before the year 1500. I am sure this does not convince you, and that's why I have the other argument. So let's get to the next argument. Portuguese brought castes. Right? This moron Nirod said that Portuguese found that the Varna system, what these Indians follow, were a good way to divide people, and they did. That's what he said, right? Because there was Varna system, Portuguese thought it is easy to divide. It is surprising that not a single idiot who liked that string video thought this through. Now imagine you are a big group of people, let's say a big colony of about 1000 people, and let's say you are a pretty homogeneous group and don't have much divisions. Everyone does their job, everyone is happy and friendly with each other. Now a foreigner who doesn't even speak your language comes to your colony for just business and says that this guy here doing this particular work is lower caste and that guy doing that particular work is upper caste, and the lower caste people should be servants of the upper caste people. If a foreigner came and said that to your group, what would your colony people do? I mean, if a foreigner whose only purpose is business and trade is able to break up your brotherhood and centuries old equality and unity, how weak is that brotherhood and unity? Now let's think of it in another way. Okay? Can you personally, can you go to another country and do it? For example, let's take Romania or Bulgaria or any other mostly homogeneous country where everyone speaks the same language, eats same kind of food, and everyone has their job. And can you tell them that one group of people is higher caste and deserve more respect, and other group of people are of lower caste and these fellows should be the servants of the upper caste? Will you return home with all your body parts after you do that? But the inbred morons of string suggest that a foreigner just came and asked people to be divided and discriminated, and everyone across the whole country is following a caste system, who until then were together. That's what he said, right? Until then, we were together, unity, ekatvam. Now let's look at another related argument, other colonies. Now let's just assume for a minute that Portuguese did manage to do that somehow. Let's say Portuguese travelers back then were so powerful and cunning and charming. Let's assume for another minute that they achieved to divide up the entire country into castes. Apparently their tactics worked so well here, right, in India. I mean, the word casta itself is Portuguese. They don't have the caste system in Portugal, at least not in modern Portugal. Then why did they have a word casta in their language? It must be a known tactic for them to use everywhere they go, right, to divide the foreigners for them, isn't it? Do these string morons even know that Portuguese travelers have made stops other than India? Let's take the example of Brazil. Portuguese have colonized Brazil. There is no caste system there. India is just a trade port for Portuguese. They never intended to colonize it. But Brazil is properly colonized by Portuguese. If Varna is just job description, everywhere in the world there are job descriptions, right? Everywhere in the world there are farmers, doctors, shopkeepers, kings, warriors, priestly class. Everywhere in the world you see these job descriptions. Why didn't Portuguese travelers use their tactic of casta in Brazil? I mean, it was so easy for them to destroy the thousands of years of ekatvam and unity of Sanatana Dharma, right? It should be easy for them. Another example closer to home is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has the world's best cinnamon. This was discovered by Portuguese when they landed around the Jaffna kingdom and kept the trading ties. There's no caste system in Sri Lanka. Now, why is that? Sri Lanka identifies only 3 groups, mostly based on language: Sinhalese, Sri Lankan Tamils, and Indian Tamils. No caste system exists in Sinhalese because they have denounced caste when they adopted Buddhism. But the Sri Lankan Tamil and Indian Tamil population still have caste system. Does that tell you where the caste system comes from? By the way, do these morons of string or their followers even know that British also ruled Sri Lanka for 2.5 centuries, just like they ruled us? Sri Lanka got independence on 4th February 1948, just 6 months after us. They had the same history with us, right? Remember Ramayana? They had the same history. Sri Lanka doesn't have a caste system and India has it. What does that tell you? Now, fourth argument is the British learned the divide and rule. Now, this is hilarious. The moron Vinod immediately connected the British to this problem. He says British learned from Portuguese the divide and rule policy and continued to use it. Now, if that is true, British would have used this tactic in other places too, won't they? But no other country occupied by British has this birth-based discriminatory caste system in the world, or even anything close to this. If you find one, present your evidence in the comments and we will talk. By the way, black and white racism is not the same as caste system, so don't try to act cute in the comments. Learn the difference first. There are probably 1,000 reasons to hate and despise the Imperial British for their war crimes, division across kingdoms, oppression, burglary, murder, genocide, destruction of native cultures across the world, desecrating monuments and religious places, and other assorted human rights violations, all through their tenure. Right? Imperial British was the worst. But the one thing you cannot accuse them of is the introduction of caste in India. They have used an existing birth-based discriminatory system and then institutionalized by making the declaration of caste mandatory. Remember this. They have used an existing birth-based discriminatory system. They did not introduce caste. It was already here and not brought by Portuguese. All the British did was they institutionalized the declaration of caste mandatory. They made an already disgusting system even more terrible. But think about it. According to these incel apologists, these string fellows, for thousands of pre-colonial years, right, before the invasions, it was unity regardless of what caste or varna people are from. But just declaration of caste started making you treat your fellow human being differently. If just declaration of caste on a paper is enough to break your thousands of years of unity, how weak was that unity? Or was that unity all a blatant lie perpetrated by these nationalist morons trying to evade responsibility? The final nail in the coffin is the pervasiveness of caste. Now, before the Portuguese came in, the land that we call India is made up of lots of kingdoms. There may have been an emperor from time to time, but it's never a homogeneous country. I hope the viewers understand that empire is not a country. Empire is a collection of vassal states that are administered independently but pay taxes for protection and pledge allegiance during wars. Empire is only a loose connection based on economy and military. So back then, the land that we call India was made up of different kingdoms, speak different languages. Sanskrit was already in decline. These kingdoms, they spoke different languages. They have different cultures, different cuisines, different habits. They have even different gods and sub-religions like Shaivism, Vaishnavism, and many others. They were even enemies of each other. Many kingdoms kept fighting all through the time, till around the time that British Raj was consolidating all its power in the Indian peninsula. So according to this moron, String Vinod, we are supposed to believe that a few Portuguese tradesmen introduced caste in one corner of the country where they landed, and this discrimination is later promoted by British. Every single culture, every single kingdom across the entire land of India started following caste systems. Every person in every kingdom gobbled up the caste system immediately. These old kingdoms couldn't agree on which sub-religion to follow, but suddenly everyone started discriminating based on caste system after British forced to use it. Seriously, are the listeners so dumbed down to accept this bullshit? These kingdoms couldn't even agree on a language, a religion, a single god to follow, but just because the British said, everybody has started following. Now, you couldn't get a single language to be spoken by the entire country during the last 1,000 years, but by all these kings, emperors, colonial occupiers. But to a foreigner, it was easy to just begin the caste system, just like that. Is it? Are you that gullible? We do have enemies from outside the land, but if you cannot identify the enemy among us, then you are going to be destroyed. History is never kind to idiots. Every rabid dog might have its 15 minutes of fame, but it must be eventually put back in its place. I'm talking to you, Vinod. In conclusion, this Vinod and his gang of imbeciles have an agenda. They want to use nationalism, jingoism, and hatred to earn money and political mileage. Now, it's the job of cheaters to cheat, right? But what is the excuse of the followers? Why the hell are you not using your God-given brain? Why are you not asking simple questions? The British left 3 generations ago and you are still following the caste system till date. If caste is a foreign concept brought by some Europeans and forced down the throat by British, why the heck are you guys following it? If you could delete your beloved apps like TikTok, PUBG, and a bunch of other apps just because they are made in China, why the hell are you following caste system introduced by a foreigner? Did you ask that? When the government can convince you that clapping hands and lighting diyas can destroy coronavirus, and just by issuing a few statements can make most of the country hate China, why not ask people to abolish caste? I mean, our idiots will believe anything, right? With one statement on one particular day, the government could demonetize and lay waste to 85% of total paper currency in India. Can't they simply bring an ordinance that from tonight onwards, no government school or no government office will ask for caste and the paper forms will be replaced without the caste column? Isn't that the noble thing to do? I'm not saying this or any such measures will vanish the whole caste system in a day or a week. This is a system this land has followed for thousands of years. Don't you want to take the baby steps to curb this menace? And the baby step is first acknowledging what is the origin of this disgusting caste system. At least first acknowledge. I'm not here to discuss about how to eradicate the problem. I'm not qualified to do that. There are think tanks and geniuses sitting in administration and across many non-government organizations. It's their job to think. My job is to question the lies and deception done by the morons of string and their followers. If you did listen to this moron Vinod and his imbecile parrots in the other string channels, not one of them denounced the actual caste system. And they didn't even ask people to abandon it. Instead, they blame it on the British and Portuguese, quickly jumped to defend Manusmriti, the abominable Manusmriti, and then started belittling Ambedkar that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Here, in this clip, listen to what this moron says.
For the sake of politics, they will keep you tagged with your own caste and...
He used the word they. Who is he talking about? Did anyone think about that? Now, this is the tactic I mentioned to you in the last video. Always talk vaguely with they, them. They are trying to destroy us. It is their propaganda. It's about making you think that someone else is pulling the strings. But in fact, this string is pulling your pants down. Hypocrites always think that the problems they have are caused by someone else. Every problem is either created by a foreign power or past governments and some secret plot across the world to destroy our country. That's what hypocrites do. That's what conspiracy theorists do, and that's what dimwits do. It takes guts to accept responsibility and take steps to correct the mistakes done by our ancestors. Anyway, think about the arguments presented here, brood over it, and understand what this string is doing to you and your brain. All the disclaimers still apply from my previous counter video. Try having some substance in your comments than just chiller attempts to blame and call me with your choicest insults. Now, by the way, it is impossible for you to insult me. So better use some content and not just hot air. Okay, see you in another video.